Our home growing up was often filled with glamorous and entertaining personalities involved in the theater and show business. Two of my parents' friends each appeared on the Broadway New York stage in Peter Pan in the early 1950s.
And your heart will fly on wings forever. In never, never, never.
Mary Martin also played in South Pacific and The Sound of Music and won multiple Tony Awards. For later generations, she was the real-life mother of Larry Hagman, star of I Dream of Jeannie and Dallas. But it was the other, Lucy Hillary, who was responsible for the biggest thrill of my 5-year-old life. After her performance in Peter Pan, she led me backstage and I actually got to feel Captain Hook's hook, convincingly attached to Boris Karloff himself, who was very patient with this wide-eyed 5-year-old.
I'll follow my secret heart my whole life through. I'll keep all my dreams apart till one comes true.
Lucy was born in 1923 and grew up on a farm in Gordons Bay, a beautiful seaside community near Cape Town, South Africa. By 1940, Cape Town was alive. It was a center for theater and training in dance and performance.
When the pie was opened and the birds... Oh, yes. These are some of Cape Town's lovely sunshine girls, and they've come out to play on the slopes of Lion's Head. They believe in keeping fit the graceful way, by means of dancing exercises, and we're perfectly sure they're definitely right. On the beach, they carry on the graceful work in gym costumes, to the great delight of a gym or two among the fan males. Like young Greek goddesses, the lissom lovelies shake a pretty limb. Theirs is the reward of a joyful training that benefits both brain and body. If you want to be a beautiful lady, you can't start too soon. Such charm, methinks, would have appealed to the young Laird of Cockpen.
Between the ages of 13 and 17, Lucy appeared on stage and in theaters in all of the major South African cities, winning a variety of singing contests and a scholarship to the South African College of Voice, part of the University of Cape Town. She studied singing under Giuseppe Paganelli. Her talents were celebrated throughout the land. The Cape Standard newspaper called her the Shirley Temple of South Africa. Later, during an early tour, the Sun referred to her as South Africa's Diana Durban. At age 17, she won the National Consolidated Theater Singing Contest and a cash award, which allowed her to dream bigger dreams. But just as Lucy's career was beginning, so was World War II, and the world was on the move. Sent by their parents to escape Hitler's ravages, hundreds of English children flooded into Cape Town.
During the last 300 years, many ships, great and small, have sailed into Table Bay and received a hearty welcome. But never has any ship been more welcome than that which recently arrived carrying these 308 children from Britain. 7,000 miles away from the savagery of Goering's mob, they may live and breathe freely once again, secure in the warm hospitality of the homes of compassionate South Africans.
Both men and women were mobilizing for war.
On the quay, members of the Women's Auxiliary hand the men gifts of cigarettes. Yes, real cigarettes, with no under-the-counter nonsense. They're on their way, and will soon be helping to knock the corners off the crooked cross, the swastika. When these boys have finished the job they've set out to do, it'll be thumbs up, for Hitler will be back in the gutter.
In peacetime, when a girl goes away, even for a weekend, she takes at least 3 trunks with her. But now it's different. These South African airwomen are on their way north for an unlimited time, and they're allowed no more than the regulation kit bag. A recruiting officer's job used to be a thankless one, but how the world has changed. Today he wouldn't swap places with a general. And now, all aboard for the station. That's very nice of you, girls, thanks. Before the train leaves, there's just time to record that happy moment. But there's not much time. Oh, I'm sorry, do you two want to be alone? Must have been very nice. However, as I was about... How long is this going on for? Good luck, girls. We're proud of you.
While the newsreel depicted a smiling population, the times were far from pleasant. Thousands of tons of Commonwealth shipping had been sunk in the Atlantic that fall of 1941, and hundreds of lives lost. It was that same hazardous Atlantic that Lucy, herself still a teenager, decided to cross in November 1941. She left her family to make her mark on Broadway and in America. The ship she took was the SS Robin Tuxford, a 7,100-ton passenger-carrying freighter. Delivered by Bethlehem Steel, Sparrows Point, Maryland shipyard just 8 weeks earlier, it was the ship's maiden voyage to the United States. Flying the American flag, it was technically a neutral, although in war, anything can happen. The sinking of the unarmed Lusitania and loss of 1,200 passengers, including 128 Americans in the First War, was a reminder. But the Robin Tuxford was blessed. It arrived outside New York without incident, only to be turned away from the port due to the onset of war. Lucy embarked safely in Boston a day after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, causing the U.S. to enter the war. The Robin Tuxford's luck would continue. It would go on to complete multiple wartime crossings and to serve the dangerous Murmansk-Russia run. It made it safely through the war before being scrapped in 1971. 18-year-old Lucy didn't waste any time. New York was a struggle, but within a few years Lucy was appearing in productions both on and off Broadway. One of her first was at the Paper Mill Playhouse in New Jersey, a venue that would later showcase Liza Minnelli, Anne Hathaway, and Patrick Swayze in the early part of their careers. In 3 short years, November of 1944, Lucy was a headliner on Broadway in The Merry Widow. And later in Guys and Dolls and On the Town, Sally and Hollywood Pinafore. Other performances included the musical comedy Toto and Mr. Strauss Goes to Boston. And Broadway was not Lucy's only conquest. Lucy and Gordon Cole met in New York City and were married in 1948. 8,000 miles from her family, the bride was given away by the former U.S. Minister to South Africa, four-star Marine General Thomas Holcomb. It was proclaimed by one South African paper as a New York society wedding, Gordon being the son of a prominent Cannon Mills executive. Lucy and Gordon met my parents in 1950 in Shoreham, Long Island. They laughed and played together on the Shoreham beach and the tennis court. Later, they would go on to play other sports. Lucy's daughters Hillary and Jennifer and I grew up together. For over a half century, Lucy, Hillary, and Jennifer were part of our family.
Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and everything is dying. It's you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valleys have
remember as a child listening at the top of the stairs to hear my parents and their friends singing around the piano late into the night. Lucy's voice always stood out. Occasionally, as a 6-year-old, I would try to imitate it, only to be reprimanded by my father. Pipe down, young man. Often those parties went late into the evenings and included the local minister.
Lingering sunsets, stay a little longer with an eye.
Lucy was a good teacher. She coached me with my lines in my 3 high school plays, including this one in which I appeared with Bob Wyatt, my wife Bonnie's oldest brother, and this one when I was an ingenue bride with a dainty-sized 13 feet. We went to an all-boys school.
Enchanted land. Grown-ups seldom understand. Wandering rainbows leave a bit of color for my heart to own. Stars in the sky make my wish come true before the night has flown and let the music fly. As long as there's a song to sing, and I will stay younger than spring. Stars in the sky make my wish come true before the night has flown and let the music fly.
Later in Lucy's career, she appeared on numerous cruise ships and USO tributes. She headlined at the Commodore Hotel, the Statler Hilton, and the Waldorf Astoria, and other special events. At this stage in her career, Lucy also appeared on radio and television.
Well, the first time I saw and heard the lovely lady that we have as our special guest on this program, I believe was at the Hilton Hotel in Chicago for a performance during the Horatio Alger Awards when Danny Thomas and Johnny Cash received that award. Her name, Lucy Hillary. Lucy, thank you for coming again.
Arthur, thank you. Good to be here.
We've had Lucy on the program a number of times since then because you've asked for her back, and we're always glad to. She's a native of South Africa.
Right, Cape Town.
Migrated to the United States.
Yes, and I love it here and enjoy the music that I'm able to work on here.
And I know you were in Finian's Rainbow.
Right, and the Merry Widow City Center, lots of Broadway shows. But I enjoy the auto harp now.
And that's an unusual instrument for you to be playing.
It's wonderful because you can go all over the place and play all the popular songs on it and do your own thing.
And you do it very well. And
Thank you.
the late, great Maybelle Carter was a devotee of the auto harp,
Yes,
too.
we are very grateful to her for really putting the auto harp on the map and really putting down auto harp music. She'll be a loss.
Yes,
I know that.
she was a great lady.
Yeah.
Lucy, I brought my mandolin hoping I might be able to join you on something.
I'm thrilled. I know everyone's going to love hearing you and myself go along on Autumn Leaves. How about that?
Lucy
Good time of
Hillary.
the year.
Great.
C'est une chanson qui nous ressemble. Toi, tu m'aimais et je t'aimais. Nous vivions tous les deux ensemble. Toi qui m'aimais, moi qui t'aimais. Since you went away, the days go long, and soon I'm here, old winter song. But I'll miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall.
Many times during this period, she returned to South Africa for work and play, often bringing Hilary and Jennifer with her. On one such trip, her success in America would cause a little jealousy. As one self-described early competitor commented, "As I was shopping at a well-known supermarket, I saw a famous face from yesteryear. This lady was once a rival singer. Both of us went to America to further our careers. She obviously did not recognize me, but I knew her. Lucy Hilary. She's as pretty as ever, though somewhat older and plumper. What a small world." On a beautiful day in Cape Town in 1992, Lucy was on her way to visit her old high school and see the friends of her youth. She had just commented on the beauty of the morning glories growing wild in the hills when she suffered a heart attack. Hilary was with her when her mother died.